Hello YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today I'm sharing this full sketchbook inspired by this beautiful book. Are you ready? Let's go take the tour. I finished this little sketchbook that is inspired by color in and out of the garden. I want to first talk about this book. Now, I did a video explaining the book and really flipping through it a lot more than I'm going to today, and I will link that in the description below. And I shared about 6 pages in this sketchbook, so this will be a total flip through of the entire sketchbook. But first I want to talk about this book. This is Color in and Out of the Garden by Lorene Edwards Faulkner. If you are looking for a book to just bring beauty, artistry, and flowers into your life, this is a beautiful book for that. Her whole premise is going to the garden, picking something up, bringing it in, and creating a palette around it. That's how she did hers. So you can see, very simple, just 9 little squares, and she finds all the colors in whatever she brings in. So I'm going to share a couple of my favorite pictures with you because I want you to see inside the book. So this is French breakfast. I love it. Look at that. Isn't it great with the radish? I like how she picks the whites, the dirty whites here of the root, the different colors. It's just really lovely. Then we've got rhubarb. I love this picture because of the pink green. Look at that color there, and I think she captures it really great here. And look at all the different pinks she's able to get with rhubarb. This one I loved because of the dark center. I mean, look at how bold that is, and look how bold she got here. I love the little values of the yellow here, where it's deeper, it's brighter, but yet in some instances it's duller in the back. So I think she captured that really beautiful. It says calendula. This one I love because of how the flower kind of disappears up there. I was really inspired by this page, how to make your colors match where kind of the subject just disappeared. And I love this little piece that it's laying on, and look at that coloration there. She says it's an evening primrose. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm in love with this color square and that color square. I really, really like those. And then this one really spoke to me in the mutedness of it. I love the little flower here. It says wildflower tulip, but I love the little duller colors, but then she's also got those bright hints of green that you can find in some of those petals there. So that is what this book is all about, and the other video spends a little more time inside the book. I want to show you my take on how I did my palettes. I worked in this Timu Arta book. It's a sketchbook, cold press watercolor paper, and it's about 5.5 by 5.5. It's one of my favorites for quick sketches and quick painting. It's not something that I want to spend hours on, but it is something definitely I want to spend 5 to 20 minutes on. And this is, I think, my 7th book, so I really love this size. I just find that it's really easy and fits my purpose of a sketchbook, which is to take a walk, find something I want to do outside, bring it in, and just start painting. That is what I love these Timu Artas for. So this book was started on October 20th, 2023. And it ended October 7th, 2024. So I had a really good time with this. This was just colors from the palette. I'm using a very specific palette for this. This was a palette that I put together with different brands of paints. So I have American Journey up here. I have a little American Journey down here. Then I go into Holbein. Then I go into Isero. Then I have a little bit of Schminky down here, and then I have some off colors here that's just a mix that I really liked and wanted to try. Here's a color chart of the palette, so you can see it goes from very light to very bold to very muted. And it has been a real treat just playing around with these colors to see what they will do. Mixing a really vibrant with a really granulating to see if the granulating still holds. Mixing a white kind of gouache-like type watercolor with some of these bolder colors like sepia and Mars violet and Venetian red. It's just let me play, and I've really enjoyed working with this palette. So as we go into the sketchbook, you'll see my take on this is that I brought in a leaf or a treasure, and I actually captured it in painting instead of the real object. So keeping it and its colors in mind, that's how I did mine. You can see as I go, it gets a little bolder, a little more muted, and then I had some fun things as well. I really enjoyed finding inspiration outside, and you can see some of them have shadows and you'll see some of them don't. It just depended on my mood that day. The acorn was actually this purple. Isn't that amazing? I loved all the colors in that. You'll notice that I shifted my item so that it's not always in the same position. Some is upside down, some is backwards. You'll see all kinds of different layouts here. I just had fun with it. This one I gave it a really deep shadow so that it looked like it was lifting off the page. A huge leaf, but I love the texture that I achieved in here. A little delicate soft leaf, but I loved the color, the softness there, and trying to pull it off so that you kind of had lost and found edges. Lost and found means where one edge is softer, so you can see this edge here is quite soft, and then you've got another harder edge over here, or harder where it is here and where this dark color is. Playing with the edges gave me an opportunity to let some of the color spill into the other colorations, or else be really bold and really defined. This was a little treasure that I bought from one of my artist friends, and I just had to capture it in here because it's so cute. It was also something different. I love the silkiness of this leaf. It just reminds me of a peach with the coloration. Japanese maple. In the springtime, they get this almost glowing color. They're really, really, really beautiful. Here's my Kokeshi doll. He was fun to put in there. He always makes me laugh, but I picked really nice blue and green colors to kind of see what this green would do with the other things inside of the painting. A really pale leaf. Look at all those little leaves in there, but I love the granulation of these colors. They came out really, really great. A Chinese lantern. I was exploring the shape and to see if I could get it while it was wet. So I did a lot of the wet on wet here, started with a lighter color, and I just kept building up layers up here to get them nice and dark, like I wanted to really inform the ridges that you see there on the Chinese lantern. And I love the addition of that kind of bluish color for like mold. A coral bell leaf. I really liked that it had this almost Davies gray in it mixed in with all of these red and orange colors. A cottonwood leaf. Blackberry lily pods. Here's how small they are in real life. Isn't it beautiful? But I just wanted to capture it really large in my book so that I would remember the color of them. Another play on soft, lost and found edges. You can see that they're kind of blend into the color here, where here they're really sharp. And I just love the edge here, how delicate it looks. And yes, these are the colors I mixed in there with a lot of buff titanium to get it that muted. This is one of the softest leaves in here, and I really had a fun time playing with it, trying to keep it very close to buff titanium. So keeping it really light in coloration, but adding all these different colors to see what it would look like in here. Let me bring that closer. Let me turn it so you can really see the leaf. It's one of my favorites. I really want to play with this palette again because I enjoyed these 9 colors. I like how you have to kind of hunt and search for this leaf. You can see the edges here. I let them kind of blur into one another. And I thought that was kind of fun. This leaf, I just really love the shape. It almost looks like a dancer to me. It's got like a little short side on this one, but this one's really longer. And I just like the position of it. A really pale pin oak leaf with yellow. It's just changing, but I love the little sharp edges, and I tried to keep it a little more distinctive, so not really lost and found edges, but in the same colors really closely in value, so that you had to kind of still hunt and peck for it. And then my last leaf, I wanted to revisit the softer colors and do a little lilac, a little bit of granulating colors. There's 2 granulating colors here. And then some real soft colors that you usually don't see in leaves. But I was just using my imagination and inspired by the sky really that day. The sky and the haziness, and then the trees in the ground. So that's what I saw in this leaf as I prepared the last page of my sketchbook. So you can see how this was inspired by this, but I did it in my own way. And I think that's the great thing about a book like this, is it inspires you in different ways. So letting yourself find a book that inspires you to do something different, where you're looking and you're going, how can I do this in my style? What does this look like in my world? You know, I am always going out for a walk. I find leaves and things all the time, and I'm always bringing them into the studio. And that's why I love this little bitty book, is because it's fast. I don't have to spend a lot of time. Even doing the 9 colors, some of these really only took me 5 minutes, because I just lay the leaf right on the page, trace it, and away I go. I hope you let a book like this dictate to yourself how you can be individual, so you can find the muse within and just have a lot of fun painting. Painting is about bringing you joy. It's not about anything else but finding pleasure and beauty in the everyday. If you were inspired by today's content, please like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.